You know that feeling? When everything in tech, especially AI, just seems to be accelerating like crazy.
Oh, absolutely. Warp speed.
Yeah, it's like you're just trying to get your bearings and bam, something new shifts the whole landscape again.
It's relentless.
Well, if that resonates with you, you are exactly where we want you to be for this deep dive.
Definitely. And, for anyone in IT, keeping up with AI isn't really a luxury anymore, is it? It's becoming essential just to navigate what's coming next.
Precisely. So we've dug into some really interesting material, trying to boil it down to what really matters about AI in IT, like right now.
Cutting through the hype?
Exactly. Forget the abstract stuff. Our goal today is simple. Give you a clear, practical understanding, the tools, the concepts relevant to your work.
Yeah, decode it a bit.
Right. Highlight ways you can actually start using it, and think about what it means for the future. All without, taking forever, respecting your time.
It's about moving beyond just the general buzz, isn't it? Getting down to how AI is actually concretely changing software development, IT ops.
That's where the rubber meets the road.
That's where the immediate impact is, yeah. And the opportunity for you.
Okay, let's dive right in then. Generative AI, Gen AI, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
What's the core idea we need to grasp?
Okay, so think of Gen AI as, AI that can create original stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that didn't exist before.
Original outputs?
Exactly. You've probably seen it with tools like ChatGPT, right? Generating text. Or Midjourney making images from prompts.
Sure.
Even GitHub Copilot suggesting code snippets. That's generative too. The key thing is they learn patterns from huge data sets and then use those patterns to produce something new, something unique.
So it's not just lookup, it's synthesis. Creating.
Precisely.
Empowering a lot of this.
Yeah.
Like large language models, LLMs, right?
Yeah.
What makes them so important here?
Yeah, exactly. LLMs are really the sophisticated engines behind many of these Gen AI tools. You've got the big names, OpenAI's GPT series, Google's Gemini, Anthropic's Claude, and increasingly these really good open source models like Llama 3, which is great for accessibility.
What makes them special is their ability to, understand and generate text that feels really human. And crucially for us in IT, they're also really good with code. Understanding it, producing it.
Both language and code, that's key.
It is. The underlying tech, often transformers, lets them learn these complex relationships in data. But yeah, the main takeaway, great with language, great with code.
Got it. So LLMs handle text and code, but now we're hearing about multimodal AI. That feels like a pretty big jump, doesn't it? Beyond just words.
Yeah, it's a significant step,
Yeah.
Multimodal AI means the AI can work across different types of data, text, images, audio, maybe even video.
So I could show it a diagram.
Exactly. Show it a system diagram, have it explain it in text, or give it a screenshot of an error message.
And it suggests fixes. Wow.
Right. Google's Gemini does this, analyzing images for recipes, understanding code visually, and tools like Pieces for developers, they're already letting you use screenshots for context.
That just opens up so many more ways to interact, doesn't it? Much richer.
Absolutely. More versatile than just typing prompts.
Okay, and then there are AI agents. These sound different again, like they have more autonomy.
That's a good way to put it. Think of AI agents as autonomous systems. They have goals.
Goals, okay.
Yeah. They can perceive their environment like a software system, reason about it, make a plan, and then act to achieve those goals. By using tools, maybe web search, running code, calling APIs. Things like that. And you see single agents for specific tasks, but also multi-agent systems where several AIs collaborate. Microsoft's AutoGen framework helps build those.
So they work together.
Or sometimes compete, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shift towards AI that can proactively work towards an objective, not just react to an instruction.
So less asking a question, more setting a destination and letting it drive.
Kind of, yeah. It's a fundamental difference in approach.
Okay. Now, another term popping up everywhere, retrieval augmented generation, RAG. Why is this one so important for actually using AI in a business setting?
RAG. Okay, so this is really clever because it tackles a core problem with standard LLMs. Well, they're trained on general data up to a certain date, right? Their knowledge is broad, but not necessarily specific or current.
Right. It might not know about my project code.
Exactly. RAG fixes that.
Right.
It gives the LLM access to specific, external, or super up-to-date information before it generates the answer.
Like feeding it the project docs.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Or your company's internal wiki, the latest code commits, recent articles. Think of it like giving the LLM a targeted constantly updated cheat sheet.
Oh, okay.
It makes its general knowledge suddenly super relevant and trustworthy for your specific context.
Yeah.
That's the absolute game changer for enterprise use.
Makes total sense. Grounding the AI.
Yep. And frameworks like LangChain and Llama Index, they make building these RA systems much easier.
Okay, grounding it in reality. Good. Now let's talk tools and platforms. You mentioned a few. It feels like a flood sometimes. How do we even start to categorize them?
It is a lot, but breaking it down helps. First, you've got the big foundational platforms, the major cloud providers.
Usual suspects.
Yeah. Google Cloud with Vertex AI and Gemini. Microsoft Azure, they got Azure AI, the OpenAI service, Copilot Studio. And AWS with Bedrock, SageMaker, CodeWhisperer.
Okay, so the clouds provide the big infrastructure and services.
Right. They're the environments where you build, deploy, manage AI solutions at scale.
Got it. What about tools that are more immediate? Things developers might use day-to-day, coding assistants.
Oh, yeah, these are becoming indispensable, fast. GitHub Copilot is probably the best known. Deep integration, suggests code, explains things, helps debug.
Right.
Tabnine is another strong one. Really good code completion, understands context well. Plus, you can train it privately on your own code.
Privacy is a big plus there.
Definitely. Codium is out there too. Pretty compelling free alternative with similar features.
Free is always interesting.
And AWS has its own, Amazon CodeWhisperer, obviously tied into their ecosystem. Then there's pieces for developers. A kind of unique angle focusing on managing code snippets, but with an AI copilot that can even use screenshots. Multimodal again.
Screenshots, right.
Yeah.
More context.
Yep. And finally, Quoto is getting some buzz. Known for precise suggestions and, interestingly, generating test cases automatically.
Auto-generating tests. That could save a ton of time.
Potentially, yeah.
So it really feels like AI is embedding itself right into the developer's core toolkit.
It absolutely is.
What about frameworks for building more complex AI apps ourselves, beyond just using assistants?
Right. So if you want to build things, especially using techniques like RA or creating agents, that's where libraries like LangChain and Llama Index come in.
Python libraries.
Primarily Python, yeah. They make it much, much easier to chain LLM calls together and connect them to external data sources. Really powerful for building practical apps.
Okay, LangChain, Llama Index.
Then there's Hugging Face. People call it the GitHub for AI.
Oh, yeah.
It's this huge hub. Models, data sets, tools. Makes it way easier to find, experiment with, and build on top of existing AI work. It's fantastic.
A central place to find building blocks.
Exactly. And for just playing around, learning, prototyping on your own machine. Llama.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a tool that lets you easily download and run powerful LLMs locally, like Llama 3, Mistral, others.
Right on my laptop.
Yep. No API keys needed, no cloud costs for experimenting, keeps your data private. It's brilliant for getting your hands dirty.
Running LLMs locally, that sounds like a fantastic way to really understand how they work without external dependencies.
It really is. Highly recommend trying it.
Now, you also mentioned role-specific AI helpers beyond just devs.
Yeah, we're seeing tools pop up tailored for different roles.
Yeah.
For BAs, product owners. Tools like Google Notebook LM can analyze lots of documents quickly.
Like requirements docs or feedback.
Exactly. Or Otter, that AI for meeting transcriptions, which you can then feed to an LLM for summaries or action items.
Handy.
And just general LLMs, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, they can help draft user stories, analyze feedback themes.
Okay. What about QA?
We mentioned Quoto for test case generation, but also AI analyzing requirements to suggest test scenarios, aiming for better coverage.
Smart. Architects.
They can use AI too. Generating diagrams from text, like with Plant UML, getting feedback on design patterns, drafting documentation.
Documentation help is always welcome.
Isn't it just? And architects increasingly need to understand MLOps, managing the lifecycle of these models as they become part of the systems they design.
Right. MLOps becomes critical. Security.
Yep, security too. Tools like Snyk AI are bringing AI-powered vulnerability scanning right into the dev workflow, catching things earlier.
Wow, it really is touching almost every part of IT, isn't it?
It's moving that way, fast.
So we've laid out the landscape, the concepts, the tools, but like you said, real learning comes from doing, getting hands dirty. What specific projects would you suggest listeners try?
Absolutely. Theory is one thing, practice is another, okay? Simple start, build a basic Q&A bot.
Right.
Use an API from OpenAI, Google, Vertex AI, Anthropic, feed it some info on a topic. Ask it questions, see how it does.
Get a feel for the basics.
Exactly. Then something really valuable. Create your own personal document assistant using RAG.
The RAG pattern again?
Yes. Take your own notes, articles, whatever. Use LangChain or LlamaIndex. Build something that lets you query your stuff. It's a core enterprise pattern, great skill to have.
Using my own data makes it immediately relevant.
Totally. And I really encourage everyone, run an LLM locally with Llama.
You mentioned that.
Download Llama 3 or Mistral. Play with it in the command line, maybe via Python. It gives you such a good gut feel for how they work, their quirks, without any cloud fuss.
Deeper understanding.
Definitely. Next idea. Automate a tedious task.
Like what?
Think of something repetitive you do, maybe online research and summarizing. Try building a simple AI agent with AutoGen or LangChain agents to handle parts of it.
See if an agent can take over routine steps.
Yeah, experiment with that automation potential. And finally, just play with code generation and explanation.
Using the coding assistance.
Yeah. Grab some complex code, ask Copilot or another tool to explain it line by line. Or try the reverse. Write really detailed comments and see how well it generates the code.
Pushing the limits of the tools.
Exactly. Build that intuition about what they're good at and what they're not yet.
These all sound really concrete, achievable ways to start. Where can people find more resources, code, maybe some inspiration?
Oh, tons of places. For the frameworks, definitely check their GitHub repos. LangChain, LlamaIndex, AutoGen, the code, the examples, the issues, it's all there.
Okay, GitHub for the core libraries.
For local LLMs, the Llama repo is key. Huggingface.co is the place for models and datasets. Just browse around. It's amazing what's there.
Hugging Face. Got it.
Sites like Katie Nuggets are often good for curated learning paths or project lists. They had one on GitHub projects to master MLOps, for instance.
Helpful guides.
And don't forget the official docs. Pieces, Tab9, Google, Vertex AI, AWS Bedrock. The creators usually have great documentation and tutorials.
Right, go to the source. Plenty to explore. Okay, let's shift gears. The future. You use the term future shock. Where's this all heading near, mid, long term? And why should we really be paying attention now?
Okay, short term, next year or so, I think AI coding assistants just become standard, ubiquitous, deeply integrated.
Table stakes for developers.
Pretty much. AI handling more boilerplate, initial docs, basic unit tests, first pass debugging. Eric Schmidt's prediction about AI doing a lot of coding within a year.
Feels plausible, doesn't it?
It really does seem to be heading that way.
We'll also see them get better at understanding larger contexts. Whole projects, not just the current file.
Okay, that's near term. Mid-term, 2 to 5 years.
That's where I think we see the rise of more capable AI agents, automating complex workflows.
More than just simple tasks.
Oh, yeah. Imagine an agent taking a high-level requirement, breaking it down, writing code, testing, deploying, monitoring, maybe even collaborating with other specialized agents.
Wow, end to end.
Getting there. And things like infinite context windows. AI handling vastly more information at once will enable this. Development might shift more towards specifying what you want and verifying the result, less line-by-line coding.
A different kind of programming, could be. And, we might start seeing the very early nascent forms of artificial general intelligence, AGI. AI with broader, more human-like cognitive abilities. The timeline is fuzzy, controversial, but the trend is towards more general capability.
AGI, okay. Long-term, 5 years plus.
Now we're into speculative territory, but that's where discussions about artificial superintelligence, ASI, come in. AI surpassing human intellect.
The singularity stuff.
Essentially. Timelines like Schmidt's aggressive 5-6 years are, well, debatable. But the potential impact on economies, society, profound, hard to even grasp fully.
Right. A lot to think about. So bringing it back to today's listeners, what does this trajectory mean for specific IT roles? Developers, QA, BAs, architects, consultants?
Okay, for developers, probably less routine code writing, more focus on the hard stuff, complex logic, architecture, system design, and becoming experts at prompting and guiding AI.
Prompt engineering becomes a core skill.
Absolutely. Plus overseeing, debugging AI code, security integration, mastery of AI tools won't be optional, it'll be fundamental.
Okay. QA engineers.
Manual testing likely reduces. The role shifts towards designing smart test strategies, maybe using AI itself to generate tests. Verifying AI model behavior becomes crucial bias, reliability, edge cases.
Testing the AI itself.
Exactly. And managing the AI automation frameworks, more of a supervisor role for testing.
Makes sense. Business analysts, product owners.
AI becomes a powerful analysis tool for them, analyzing user feedback, market data, requirements drafts, generating initial user stories, acceptance criteria, personas.
Freeing them up for higher-level thinking.
That's the idea. Focusing on the business strategy, critical thinking, domain expertise things AI doesn't do well. AI helps predict feature impacts, maybe prioritize better.
Got it. Architects.
Big focus on designing AI-integrated systems, choosing the right models, platforms, understanding the data pipelines AI needs. Crucially, ensuring responsible AI ethics, fairness, security, privacy.
Responsible AI is huge.
It has to be. Plus, defining MLO strategies, maybe using AI as a design sparring partner for ideas.
Interesting. And consultants.
Huge demand, I think. Guiding organizations on AI strategy, tool selection, risk management, ethics, organizational change. They'll need both broad AI knowledge and deep dives in specific areas.
Lots of opportunity there.
Definitely.
So across the board, it sounds like evolution, maybe transformation, but not necessarily elimination. A shift in required skills and focus.
That's how I see it, yeah.
Which brings us to the wake-up call. You said adapt or be left behind. That sounds pretty direct.
Well, it is serious. I mean, the speed and the fundamental nature of this AI shift, it feels different from previous tech waves. Even the internet or cloud?
More profound?
I think so. Faster, deeper changes. Ignoring it just doesn't seem like a viable long-term strategy for anyone in IT.
But you also mentioned opportunity, right? It's not all threat.
Oh, absolutely not. The opportunity is immense. We can augment our own skills, become faster, generate more insights, tackle harder problems.
Become more effective.
Exactly. And new roles are emerging purely focused on AI, strategy, oversight, prompt engineering, AI ethics. We get to be the human in the loop, guiding these powerful tools.
Leveraging the tech.
Right. Achieve more than we could before.
But what is the real threat if we don't adapt? If we just try to keep doing things the old way?
The most immediate threat is automation of the routine stuff. Repetitive, predictable tasks that don't need much critical thinking or creativity.
So if your job is mostly that...
Then yeah, there's a real risk of skill obsolescence. If you stand still while the ground is shifting this fast under your feet, you inevitably get left behind. You miss the new opportunities.
Okay, stark warning received. So what's the action plan? What can listeners actually do starting now without getting totally paralyzed by the scale of it all?
Right, keep it practical. First, commit to continuous learning. Seriously, even just a few hours a week.
Stay curious.
Yes. Follow key people or sources. Read articles, maybe take an online course. Google AI Essentials, Microsoft Learn's AI Hub, Icica has resources, DataCamp, Coursera, Udemy, lots of options. Listen to deep dives like this one.
Keep learning, step 1.
Step 2, experiment relentlessly. Use the free tiers the cloud providers offer. Run local models with Llama like we talked about. Build small proofs of concept.
Get hands-on.
Yes. Don't be afraid to break things or get weird results. That's how you really learn the limitations and capabilities.
Learn by doing and failing sometimes.
Exactly. Third, talk about it. Share what you're learning with your team, your colleagues. Discuss how AI could apply to your actual projects.
Make it collaborative.
Collective learning is powerful. Brainstorming generates ideas you wouldn't have alone. And finally, fourth, double down on human skills.
Be irreplaceable stuff.
Precisely. Critical thinking, complex problem solving, creativity, communication, collaboration, empathy, your specific domain expertise. AI struggles with these. Combine these strengths with AI proficiency. That's the winning combination.
Human plus AI.
That's the future, I think.
Okay, that feels like a really solid, manageable plan. Learn, experiment, talk, human skills. You really stressed the urgency earlier. Why is now the critical time?
Because the pace is just breathtaking, honestly. What was researched just 6 months ago is now a product feature. The window to get ahead of this curve, to build that understanding before it's just assumed knowledge, that window is closing fast.
The early mover advantage is shrinking.
Rapidly. Now really is the time to start engaging seriously.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, the core message seems loud and clear. AI is here, it's powerful, it's transforming IT, and it's going to touch all of our roles.
No doubt about it.
The way forward isn't panic, but a clear path. Understand the landscape, get hands-on experience, and recognize the urgency to adapt your skills.
Adapt and augment.
Right. Think of AI as this next essential layer you add to your professional skills, building on your existing foundation.
A new tool in the toolbox.
Yeah.
But a really, really powerful one.
So stay curious, be proactive, experiment, keep learning. It feels like the future of IT really does belong to those who embrace this change.
I truly believe that. And maybe as you think about all this, revisit some of those crazier-sounding project ideas we mentioned.
Like the proactive code-based health agent.
Yeah, or the multimodal bug reporting. Or even vibe coding. Which of those futures sparks your interest? Why? Thinking about those concrete, ambitious applications, that's where the real excitement, the real transformation for your own work starts.